Hey everybody, it's Topwater Johnny, and in this bass fishing video, we'll be discussing the best bass fishing line setup featuring American Tackle Company. Let's go. Whoa, there we go. Yeah! Woo, holy cow, folks. Topwater Johnny here, man. This is what we came here for. Look at that. Get back here. Look at that right there. That's the kind of beast that we came here for. There we go. Woo! And that one hooked. Hey everybody, it's Topwater Johnny here. Want to welcome you to the next video here. As you saw in the subject line there and in the title of this video, we're talking about fishing line in this one right here. And the one thing that I want everybody to think about here is, what is the one thing that connects you, the fisherman, to the fish you're about to catch? Is it the reel? Is it the rod? Or is it the line? And in most cases, I would say it's the line. And what determines your success or failure at bringing that fish in is the fishing line. And that's why in this video, we're going to talk about fishing line here. And I want to give a very special thank you to a friend of mine who is now currently working for the company called American Tackle Company. And he sent me over 3 different lines to review. His name is Fernandez. On Instagram, you can find him at Moisfishing. But then also, if you go to my description box, you will be able to get his email address and also the website to American Tackle. There you can go over, you can check out all the cool stuff that they have, all of the lines, the rods, and things that they have to offer. But what Mo did for me was he sent me over 3 different lines to look at, to review, and to give my honest opinion on. So the first one will be a fluorocarbon called Bushido, and this is their fluorocarbon. Then he provided me with 2 of their braided lines. One is their Nano X, and the other one is their Bushido, but this is in their fluorocarbon. The Nano X is 4-stranded. The Bushido here is 8-stranded. And what he wants me to do is just kind of give you guys an honest review of these particular lines and to give you my thoughts. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and do a closer look at each of these fishing lines. Then I'll come back and then I'll give you my thoughts about that as well. The first one we'll start with is the fluorocarbon, and then we'll go into the 2 braided lines. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at these fishing lines. All right, let's get started here. This is the Bushido fluorocarbon. This actually is the 16-pound fluorocarbon, 0.330 in diameter, about 110 yards of line here. And what makes this one so unique is it has definitely a thinner line diameter and superior break strength. But this soft, low memory line is great because that means when you are having trouble with the line or it knots up for whatever reason because of a bad cast, you're not punished for that. This line gets itself back straightened out and doesn't have those knots still in there. It doesn't have those problems with it, which makes it excellent. Increased sensitivity, and just to show you on the back here, thinner line diameter, superior break strength with it, soft line memory. Advanced line design allows a softer line with low memory, ideal for casting and working baits with a reduction in knotting and tangling, which is huge there. Abrasion resistant, and then also, which makes it so good, is increased sensitivity, so that between you, the fisherman, the rod, the line to the lure, a lot more sensitivity and low visibility. In other words, the fish can't see it coming. In other words, they don't see the line out there. So this is definitely an excellent fluorocarbon, and I look forward to using it. All right. Okay, here we are from the American Tackle Company. This is their Nano fishing braid line. It's 4 strands. It weighs, this is a 30-pound braid here. The breakage is 48 pounds, 150 yards of actual line here on this spool. The actual diameter is 0.28, and it's 4 strands. And what makes this particular line so effective is the fact that it's effective on those windy days where you get your line tangled up, and it can also get knotted up as well. So it's kind of designed to make sure that you can reduce a lot of that trouble on those windy days. It's got a smaller diameter, which makes it smoother. It's got what they call this nano coating on it, which reduces friction and allows for longer line cast. And it also has a coating on this line as well, which when it comes to having your line on your rod for a number of months and the sun kind of beats down on it, it allows for you to have longer life from that fishing line, which in other words means you will have less likely to have rot on your line and less likely to have a lot of breakage, because this line has kind of been coated to last a little bit longer, to allow you to have a little bit more life out of that line there. So very impressive with this line, and this is the Nano X. All right, the next one here is the Bushido Combat Braid. It's 8-stranded. It's actually 30 pounds as well, 45-pound breakage, 0.26 millimeter in diameter. And what makes this one unique in this product line is that it's 8-stranded, so that means it's smoother than the 4-stranded braid, a lot quieter, less line twists and knotting. Also, there's abrasion things on this line that allow it to be a lot more resistant to abrasion and friction. There's no stretch in this because it is braid, but it's 8-stranded, which allows for you to really feel every pull, tug on the line. It has its own coating on it, which reduces friction as well. So this particular one definitely will offer a person a lot smoother cast, and also offer them a lot more sensitivity when they're fishing their lures. All right. Okay, and here they both are together. But if we get down here really, really close, you can now see how the Nano with 4 braids, you can kind of see that a lot more. I'll try to zoom in on that a little bit more there. But you can actually see that it has the 4 braids there, as well as the Combat that has 8 braids. It's a lot more tighter and a lot more sealed together, which means this 8-strand will definitely cast a little bit better because it's a little bit tighter than the actual 4-stranded braid right here. Both are effective, but as you can see from that little bit right there, there is a noticeable difference between the two. So I just wanted to show everybody that. All right. Okay, we're back, and I hope you enjoyed that closer look at each of these particular lines here. Now, one of the biggest things that when you're thinking about fishing line is you also always got to be thinking about the type of fishing that you're going to be doing here. Because you know fluorocarbon sinks, you got to be kind of aware of, okay, how am I going to be fishing with the fluorocarbon? Am I going to be using hooks and worms, or am I going to be doing something a little bit different where I need that line to get down in the water? Maybe I'm fishing artificial lures, but these are crankbaits. These are baits that need to go down a lot deeper, and fluorocarbon will allow that to happen. Whereas braid is a much more surface lure. And in other words, you're trying to fish on top, you're trying to fish in lily pads, heavy cover, places where braid becomes a much more effective line for the type of fish that you're fishing for. So there's different thoughts about how to fish these lines here. What I'm going to do, just to give you an honest review of it, is I'm going to braid up one of my rods with the braids, and then I'm going to fish it. And then I'm also going to spool up the fluorocarbon on one of my rods as well, and I'm going to fish that. And then what I'm going to do is give you my opinion about them out on the water. So that's what we're going to do right now, is we're going to go out on the water, and you'll get to see all 3 of these lines in action and me fishing with them. And then at the end of that, I'll give you my final thoughts and opinion. So let's go ahead and go out to the water now. Hey everybody, it's Topwater Johnny, and we are out at the lake here. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be testing out that fishing line now and just running our tests on the fluorocarbon and the 2 braided lines. One, Nano X, is 4-strand, and then the other one, Bushido, that is actually an 8-strand one. So we're going to be running our tests on that, and we're going to go ahead and get started with that right now. Just wanted to show everybody that on this rod is the fluorocarbon 16 pound. Right here is the Nano X 4-strand, and right here is the Bushido 8-strand line right here. So I just wanted to show you guys the rods that are set up on it at this time, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, the first one we're going to do is we're going to start with the fluorocarbon here, and I'm going to be actually fishing it with a extra small little jerk bait here. So I'm going to be fishing this small little jerk bait. The actual Bushido fluorocarbon is 16 pounds, and we're going to go ahead and cast it out and see how it does. All right. And I guess when you're thinking about fluorocarbon line, my biggest thing is line memory. That's my biggest issue. I don't want any line memory. But the line itself feels pretty good for fluorocarbon. It feels pretty good. No complaints. It feels very natural. It's handling the lure well. So I don't have any complaints with that for sure. The line itself is fluorocarbon, so it naturally sinks. And the biggest thing with the fluorocarbon is just to keep it up. You know, I'm fishing a little jerk bait here, so my goal is to see how the fish respond if I get a hit on that fluorocarbon. But as far as the line goes, you know, the line feels good. So I don't have any complaints on that. The line does feel good. All right, we're in another spot. Cast it out. Fluorocarbon. Start popping it. There we go. There we go. And the fluorocarbon is holding up. Feels good. Not a lot of, there it is, on that fluorocarbon. So, no complaints. No complaints right there. We got one on that Bushido. That Bushido fluorocarbon right there, we got one. So, no complaints. Not the biggest one, but that's okay, because we are conducting experiments. But all right. The important thing is the line is holding up. There's no fray in the line. I don't feel any fray or anything in the line. It feels very smooth. So we are going to keep on fishing. All right. There we go. Oh, missed that one. Throw it out there again. See what we get. There we go. On this line here, it's holding up really well. Yep. There we go. Hibachi, there we go. All right. There we go. It's a little one, not a very big one, but that line is definitely holding up, and it is sensitive. Let's see here. It's a little one there. Hey, it's Topwater Johnny here. We've just caught two so far on the Bushido fishing line. The line in itself is very strong. Two fish so far. The line's not fraying or anything like that. Also, you know, the line has, you know, like they talked about, very little memory to it. So it kind of keeps straight, and then it's just really about getting a feel for it. And I need to get the line a little bit more wetter so that it's a little bit more easier off of the reel itself. But other than that, everything else seems to be going really good with this. So we're going to do a few more casts with it and see what we get. All right. There we go. Nice pull. I can feel the line. There you go. All right. He struck it. He struck it and we got him. Well, he's off now. All right. All right, another little one right there. All right. Well, there you saw it. 3 fish on the Bushido Fluorocarbon on that line right there. And as far as sensitivity goes, I could really feel when something hit it, you could really feel it. I'm used to braid that has no stretch, but this right here was strong enough that even when I kind of snapped it, I was really able to lock that fish down. It does give a little because that is fluorocarbon and there is some stretch to it. But overall, I felt really comfortable when I was setting the hook, and I felt comfortable feeling that the bite was there. And that's really the key, as I said before, knowing that the bite is there. So I would definitely say good job, and I am definitely pleased with the fluorocarbon. So the Bushido fluorocarbon is pretty good. No complaints. So we're going to move on to the braid now. All right. Hey everybody, it's Topwater Johnny here. Had to cut that video off at this point because if I were to go on with the braided review on this video, literally this video would be well over 35 or 40 minutes. So what I decided to do was stop the video after the completion of my fluorocarbon review, and then on Monday you will see my review of the braided line and me fishing with that braided line and the results I got from it as well. But for right now, we just want to focus on the Bushido fluorocarbon right here. And some of the things I want you guys to think about when you're thinking about fluorocarbon versus mono versus braid. As you already know, mono floats on top. Braid is much more designed for that heavy cover, lily pads. But fluorocarbon is really designed to sink. And because it's designed to sink, it's also designed to help you get to where you need to be in the water column with specific lures. So for example, if you're fishing with worms, your crankbaits, your jigs, your chatterbaits, your jerk baits, your drop shots, and even your swim baits, that kind of line, fluorocarbon line, is the best line for that to get you down in the water column where you want to be. And as you saw in my video, I was using that fluorocarbon with my little jerk bait, and it was getting out there and we were getting some fish. They weren't the biggest fish, but we were getting some fish on it as well. Also, other thing to remember about fluorocarbon, because it does sink, it also is a very clear line, so the fish usually aren't able to see it, and the cloudier the water, definitely they will not see it, but in super clear water, they can't see that as well. So that's why fluorocarbon works so effectively. Now for me, as a topwater guy, what I would be using this kind of line for, because I'm not always fishing deep, I'm more of a topwater guy, but I would use this as a leader, like 6 inches of it as a leader, so that when I'm doing my top water, I can get it out there in the water column where I want it to be on top, and also the fish can't see the braided line. So if I'm fishing clear water, top water, then I would put a leader of this, like about 6 inches of this on there as a leader, and that would allow me to continue to fish my top water. And although this line does sink, 6 inches of line will not make the actual topwater lure sink too far to the bottom. It won't sink at all, really, because it's such a small piece of line right there. But it will help me fish topwater in clear water, but then also it helps me avoid sometimes getting those knots you get when you fish braid to your lure. Sometimes the front treble hook of your lure can get wrapped around the braid. But if you've got 6 inches of a leader line there, maybe fluorocarbon, then you don't get that hookup and you don't get that tangle that occurs there. So that's another benefit to having this kind of fluorocarbon right here. If you wanted to get you a little box of this right here and check it out, go to my description box. There's a link in there where you can go over, you can access it, They even give you a discount if you put the word Topwater in there, and that will give you a chance to check out the fluorocarbon. Like I said before, on Monday, we do the braid, we do the testing, you'll see me fishing it, but I just want to get your thoughts about it as well. What do you think about it? What's your thoughts about it? Please leave a comment below. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to hit the like button. The more times you hit the like button, in other words, everybody watching videos, hit the like button because it gives my videos a chance to get out to more people so I have more opportunities to share. So once again, this is Topwater Johnny saying I want to thank you guys so much. And remember that phrase, keep your Bushido Fluorocarbon line tight because when they hit those Topwater lures, it's going to be a big bite.